Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Sasquatch Build-A-Figure Wave X-23 figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beast we know about. Stay buying figs, don't know about.
8 figures per case, 7 figures in the wave, no Build-A-Figure part with the 90s red Deadpool. There are 2 red Deadpools per case. You need the remaining 6 figures to complete the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. Alright, got X-23 out of the package, and I've got a lot of mixed emotions in regards to this figure. It's a pretty nice figure, but I've got quite a few issues, and it's kind of teetering on the borderline for me of good and just like meh. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. And, you know, one of my major concerns with the figure, or one of my major issues with the figure, is the lack of articulation, because it is one of Hasbro's female figures. And for whatever reason, they refuse to give us a new buck with the female figures. But this figure is absolutely an improvement on the X-23s of the past. The ones we've gotten from Toy Biz in the past are just terrible. And this one is light years ahead of those. No question about that. No accessories, but she does come with the torso to complete the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. Now, the look and the design of this figure is very nice. I'm not always a fan of the windswept hair on the females, because it's kind of like, you know, if you're shooting something or doing some A.C.B.A. with an indoor scene, then it just kind of looks stupid that her hair is windswept like that. If she's not really in an action scene or in an outdoor scene, then it looks kind of weird. But this is her in her X-Force outfit. She was part of a team that Cyclops put together with Wolverine, Warpath, and Wolfsbane, and then at some point Archangel ended up joining the team, and Elixir and a couple of other people. I talked about this particular team in the review for Domino, because Domino was a part of that squad. So I mean, it's like 6 degrees of separation with all of the figures in this particular wave. But my issues, aside from the articulation, is out of the package, these her claws were pretty warped. And the ones here on her left hand look good as far as the distance between the two of them and the fact that they're pretty straight. But out of the package, this claw, the right one here, was just like kind of not even fully pegged in, and it was just damn near out. I pretty much pulled it out and then tried to put it back in. But I don't like the fact that they haven't figured out a mechanism for swapping out the claws that's better, or at the very least giving you an extra set of hands. But yeah, these are just not really fixed in there too nicely. Then we've got this belt. You know, it's been hit or miss with the belts that are sculpted and are a separate piece. In most cases, you're able to just kind of push the belt down and keep it in place. I feel like this one's a little more difficult for you to do that. But I do feel like the deco looks good. I do feel like it's pretty accurate to her look in the comic book. I don't really see too many paint imperfections or problems. The head sculpt looks pretty good. Let's get a close look at that. Yeah, as far as the cleanliness of the head sculpt, it is pretty nice. But again, the windswept hair, and I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of this particular face and this snarl. It looks a little, she looks a little constipated or something. It would have been nice to get an additional head in this package, though. Additional hands, additional head, that should be mandatory with Marvel Legends, in my opinion. Maybe I'm a little spoiled. Maybe I'm asking for too much for a $20 figure, but it would really take a lot of the figures over the top, or at least make you overlook some of the other issues that you may have. And yes, the head does pop off, so you can take a look at that. In terms of articulation, as you saw, the head is on a ball joint. It'll look down pretty far, but you're not going to get it to look up too far because of how the hair comes down to the middle of her back. But it will turn left to right. It'll get some decent pivot on there, but that's pretty much it. Again, an additional head would have been great. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're going to come up pretty far. They could actually do a full 360. No upper bicep swivel. You do get a single hinged elbow that will rotate. It's probably just a little bit more than 90 degrees. You get a hinge and a swivel on the wrist. This upper torso articulation is pretty much trash. I mean, you're not going to get her to move forward at all or back, really. That's pretty much it. You get about a centimeter. It'll move to left to right. It'll pivot just a little bit on that joint, but no ab crunch, no waist swivel. So that sucks, especially for this type of character who's running and jumping and flipping and cutting and doing all types of acrobatics and whatnot. And you can't really move her upper torso, so that sucks. T-joint at the pelvis, the legs will come up just about that far. Split's gonna look like that. That's pretty much it. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee. You do get rotation here at the upper boot, so that's cool. You get a hinge and a pivot on the foot. So the lower torso is not bad as far as articulation, but you know, this is somebody that you want to get crouching real low, similar to Wolverine, and you definitely need an ab crunch on an X-23 figure. I mean, without that, what are you doing? And it should be noted that you can pop the hands out as well. And a couple quick size comparisons. We've got the Hasbro X-Force Wolverine here on the right, who's not quite the right size. I'll break out the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wolverine in a second so you can see that. But looking at the two of them side by side, it doesn't look too bad. And then this is the old Toy Biz Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Wave X-23, which was okay at the time. I mean, at the time that it was released, people didn't complain about it too much. Although it is pretty awful, and you can see that I can barely get her to stand properly because the legs are so warped. Funny thing is, look at that. Funny thing is that this figure is pretty much new. I think I broke this out of the package not too long ago because I needed the Build-A-Figure part. I was trying to build another Toy Biz Apocalypse, but guess what this figure has? Double jointed elbows. The articulation is not too bad. They definitely didn't give her the proper upper torso or ab articulation, but she's got double jointed elbows. It is possible to give a female figure double jointed elbows and still look okay aesthetically. So, you know, but don't get me wrong. This new X-23 is very nice looking. I mean, look how great she looks in a, you know, just in a vanilla stance. You get her in some great portrait style shots, then, you know, it'll be phenomenal, but it's just the articulation is so lacking. And there was actually two versions of this figure in that wave. There was a lot of debate about which one was actually the variant, but it was this one, and then there was one where she looked like a little younger and a little more feral. I don't know how to describe it, but she had on like a purple outfit. I'm not sure if I even still have that figure. And there she is next to the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Wolverine, who is about the right height, I think. So he's just a tad bit taller than her. You know, Wolverine's supposed to be a short dude. So that's pretty much it. I got to get out of here. Got a big day ahead of me tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day of Toy Fair. So that's February 17th, 2018 is the first day of Toy Fair. Supposed to be meeting up with Mezco at 9 a.m. And then Hasbro has their special little secret little event at 1:30 p.m. So at a undisclosed location. You know, Hasbro likes to do it real secretive and do it real big. They always pull out all the stops, though. I do appreciate how they do it, and they do treat the media people that are allowed in very nicely. So big shout out to everybody at Hasbro. So I'm all set with that. I'll be over there with my man Danny LeBlanc and my boy Ed. They'll be helping out, and we'll be recording as much as possible and putting out as much footage and going live on Instagram, and it's going to be lit. So make sure you following the Articulated Comic Book Art Instagram and my Instagram, and I'll be putting up quite a few videos on the channel throughout the weekend. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, back to X-23 though. Great looking figure. I do like the figure overall. I got to figure out what I'm going to do about these claws, but the lack of articulation and the fact that we didn't get any additional head sculpts is definitely a bummer. Still one I would recommend. You definitely need to pick up this figure if you want to complete the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. Speaking of the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure and this wave, we are actually doing a drawing right now for the 7 figures from this wave on card. And it's actually a drawing to help out one of my friends in the community, my man Derek Borecki. He's having some issues right now. I don't want to delve too deep into his personal business, but it's something to help him with some medical costs. So there's a GoFundMe up for him right now. If you want to just donate a couple of bucks to that, it would be greatly appreciated. Or a little drawing, excuse me, for the full Sasquatch Build-A-Figure wave. So if you throw down a couple of bucks for that, you'll be automatically entered into that drawing. all of the money's going to go toward his GoFundMe in the end. So it's for a great cause. You might be able to win something for as little as $6, but again, if you don't, it was still for a great cause. So all of that information will be in the description below. As always, thanks for hanging out. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.